Good evening and welcome to the news. The Wednesday edition, as usual, packs a punch in views, reviews, and interviews with discussions and fact-finding reports on issues that touch our daily lives. We'll be in different parts of the country to track events as they unfold with our lenses trained on the key actors. Tonight, you can leave, but don't close the door. ECOWAS keeps door open for exiting members, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. The new phase of livestock production as Borno invests in Ruga settlements with benefits and spin-offs on the app. And aviation, Max Air suspends domestic flight operations after crash landing incident in Kano. A bad slice of onions brings tears to the eyes of farmers in Nigeria. We have a discussion with an administrator who knows these onions. In Abuja, we have the Minister of State Agriculture to peel the many layers of poor onion harvest, while the Deputy Governor of Borno State, who also dabbles as Commissioner of Livestock, Umar Kadafo, will provide illumination on the Ruga settlement in his state. And on issues of the sub-region and its exiting members, Professor Jonathan Aremu is here to provide perspectives. As we say on this shift, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I'm Ian Ray John, and this is News Extra. Welcome. All right, let's hit the road now. Rebuilding the Lake Chad Basin to ensure peace and promote development for a Brazilian community was the focus of the 5th Lake Chad Governors Forum hosted in Maiduguri by the Yobe State Government. President Bola Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the event, urges for a collective approach towards addressing challenges facing the region. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jabrila reports.
The meeting brought together 8 governors from Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad, and the Republic of Niger, as well as humanitarian organizations and local and international communities to address pressing security challenges and explore solutions for stability in the Lake Chad region. President Tinubu noted that while military power is necessary to contain these security threats, it must be accompanied by strategies that address their root causes, including poverty, inequality, and lack of job opportunities for the region's young population.
Let us as a region collectively fuse into one to face our common enemy. Our common enemies are poverty, institution, and lack of opportunities. Once we engage youth, once we create opportunities, this madness of Boko Haram, of ISWAP, will evaporate.
This forum remains a beacon of hope, serving as the cornerstone for strengthening and promoting good governance, cross-border cooperation, dialogue, and coordinated action among the basin 8 territories.
Since the establishment of this forum, Borno State has remained steadfast and committed to its realization of its vision and mission. In our efforts to rebuild the state and restore the social contract between government and communities, we have made significant strides in providing essential infrastructure, enhancing security, and creating livelihood opportunities for our people.
The sharing news is that the world recognizes this global characterization and do understand that there will not be global peace without the right answers to the question of the Lake Chad Basin.
I want to also repeat that the armed forces of Nigeria and other security agencies are here all the way to ensure that the entire region is fully back to its course. I'm very happy and glad to hear that the governor of DeFi is here. I want to assure you, all members, that we are one family. There is no dispute between us that cannot be solved.
The Governors Forum is a testament to the belief that the challenges we are facing transcend borders and require collective solutions. Boko Haram, insurgency has demonstrated that instability in one corner of our region reverberates across the entire basin.
Chain of events have disrupted the stability of the region in the past 15 years and demand that power must be wielded responsibly to guarantee the safety and prosperity of the people. From Maiduguri, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The recent inauguration of the Nguranam multi-billion naira Ruga settlement in Mafa local government area of Borno State is an initiative that demonstrates the commitment by the federal and Borno State governments to sanitize the country's livestock sector, previously considered to be crumbling. Muhammad Abubakar reports that the expansive facility that shares boundaries with Magumeri and Marte local government areas can simply be described as the game changer in the sector. The report.
Across the four corners of this facility, situated at Ngaranam along the Maiduguri Dikwa Gamborungal highway that is now home to about 700 households, are facilities necessary for human and animal habitation, notably water, an expansive grazing area to cater for a large number of livestock all year round, a market, school, and most importantly, security that is critical in ensuring its functionality owing to the ugly past the host local government Mafa was noted for. Also in the facility are well-equipped health centers to cater for any emergency involving the occupants and livestock therein, not to talk of some additional facilities for milk extraction and fodder making all year round, all deliberately provided to add to the value chain expected to be generated. To Bulama Muhammad Abubakar and Bulama Kyari, who are heads of 2 out of many households within the facility and proud owners of a 2-bedroom house and 2 work pools each, with their wives having 3 kettles each to make a living courtesy of Borno State government, the idea is simply beyond common for a family of their class.
I
have never believed a day will come in my lifetime when I will be settled in a grand way like this and actively engaged in what I know all my life, that's farming and animal grazing. I can't thank enough all those with a hand in this laudable initiative. I have previously been moving from one part of the state to another with my family and livestock, searching for pasture, with all its attendant consequences. Now that myself along many others have been conveniently settled here, what else should we say apart thanking all those with a hand in this laudable initiative?
This drinking point you are seeing here is just 1 out of 10 the Ruga settlement is equipped with to serve as a drinking point for the kettles herein.
Looking at the huge investment made and the fear of the facility going the ways of its type, not only in the state, but Nigeria at large, the State Deputy Governor and Commissioner of Livestock, Umar Usman Kadafur, had this to say.
Government will be fully in charge of securing the Ruga itself, motivating even the herders themselves.
With this development, the incessant conflict between farmers and herders is to a certain extent eliminated, and they will no longer need to be moving around across Nigeria with a large number of livestock looking for pasture. As such, among other necessities for the sector to thrive are adequately provided. Maiduguri, Muhammad Abubakar, NTA News.
And still on the Ruga settlement, we have joining us now the Deputy Governor of Borno State, Umar Usman Kadafur. Many thanks for joining us, sir.
Good evening.
Could you tell us the economic value and capacity of Nguranam Ruga settlement? Can it contain headers even from other parts of the state, especially southern part, or are there similar facilities that will cater for their needs?
Question. The Nguranam Ruga settlement is the first one that was launched in the state. We have 3 similar settlements in the state, one from the southern part of the state and the other in Imurgu, a village in Askara local government. And also we have another one in Gubbio local government area. While the one we have launched in Mafa is the one that we are talking about now. We made a lot of provisions, and we looked at the population of the displaced, pastoralists in that locality in the Mafa local government area. We have about 18 villages that were displaced, and mostly the population of Borno State, we are farmers, both crop and livestock farmers. And if you look at it, Borno State is the second largest state in Nigeria. So the government came up with this program to see how best we can work on the lives of our pastoralists, especially the displaced persons. So that is why we put up the Ruga settlement. And also we made a lot of provisions for their housing, for the clinics, and both veterinary and healthcare facilities provided, and also a school is being provided in the settlement. And also we are going to drive the process because we have taken over the ownership of the whole program in conjunction with the federal government. While the federal government is providing 40%, the state is providing 60%. And also we have taken over and we are ensuring that this program is sustainable. So I assure you, inshallah, we are going to secure the place. We're going to provide a lot to those who are there. Already we have, we have provided a lot. We have a veterinary clinic, we have a pasture farm, and also the Ruga is positioned in a stylish way, whereby it linked with Ngaranam and Magumeri and Marte grazing reserve area, so that the pastoralists can now graze freely after we have established even the pasture, which also the local government area in conjunction with the State Ministry of Livestock have made provision so that we are having a pasture farm of more than now 20 hectares for our breeding improvement and grazing. We also want to provide veterinary services to those inhabitants of the settlement. And also, how do we improve on the value chain processes? We have the feed mill, we have the milk collection center, of which if the pastoralists went to sell the milk in the market and they were not able to sell it at that day, they can bring it back to the settlement. We have a milk collection center and preservation for them to preserve their milk for future, businesses, so they can take it in any other day to the market and sell it. We are providing services also.
All right. Many thanks, Deputy Governor. Because of time, you said this is of benefit to displaced persons. Besides that, why is the government of Borno State prioritizing investment in Ruga settlement?
The displaced people, as I mentioned earlier, they are pastoralists and crop farmers. So, and they are indigenous of our state. If you look at it, we are trying to diversify the livestock, business in the state. So this Ruga settlement is one of our plans. The next one is the part of the value chain. We have the agro-processing zone. We are going to provide like a guaranteed offtake to all the livestock farmers in our state and other stakeholders in the livestock, business. So that at the end of the day, we'll be buying from them and process it and even export it outside. That is the major reason. We want to improve and diversify on the livestock business in Borno State.
All right. You already mentioned security being, on the mind of the government. Can you tell us how you intend to secure, this facility against all forms of threats in the face of security challenges affecting the zone?
The settlement, where we had a lot of, consideration before even putting up the settlement. What we do, Borno State, as the epicenter of insurgency, we have been resettling a lot of, villages. So this one is still part of our resettlement process and recovery system in the state. What we do is we have a security team comprising of the governor, the theater commander, and other head of security agencies. They have to certify areas before we go and resettle people. So it's a lot of process, but we are determined to resettle our people. And as we are doing it, we take into consideration the displaced people, the displaced communities, and whatever we are going to do in our resettlement process, we make sure we make provisions for those people who are resettled back into their ancestral home to have a life, to have a source of livelihood. So we consider what do they do, and that is what we prioritize before resettling these people.
Many thanks, Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafor. Because of time, we'll have to leave the conversation at this point. We wish you the very best, and of course, we'd like to see all of this materialized to, benefit of the people of Borno State. Many thanks once again. All right, away from Borno State now, the Economic Committee of West African States, ECOWAS, has confirmed the withdrawal of Burkina Faso, the Republic of Mali, and the Republic of Niger from the regional bloc, effective Wednesday, January 29, 2025. At a press briefing in Abuja, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Aliyu Omar Toure, said despite their exit, citizens of the three nations will retain certain privileges. Kelvin Evonaye has all the details.
The withdrawal of the three Sahel states was ratified at the December 15, 2024 summit of the Authority of Heads of States and Government of ECOWAS to take effect from January 29, 2025. So, at the moment, the hitherto 15-member regional bloc is now a body of 12 members. Despite the depletion in its numerical strength, ECOWAS says it remains focused on its objectives and that citizens of the three affected countries will continue to enjoy privileges accruing to all ECOWAS citizens until engagements with their countries are concluded, but with the time frame yet to be decided.
The question of withdrawal is a sovereign decision. It's a sovereign decision, but ECOWAS has shown the whole world and the community in particular the value of being a member of ECOWAS. This is the region, the only region on the continent where with a simple ID card you can move from one end to another end. I'm not saying there are no problems, but legally you can move from one end to another end. This is also a region where member states can trade freely among themselves.
Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali indicated their intention to leave the ECOWAS bloc in January 2024. Series of engagements to persuade them to change their stance were unsuccessful. They have since formed a coalition of alliance of Sahel states. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
No, thanks, Kelvin. We have an ECOWAS consultant on common investment market, Professor Jonathan Aremu, with us now to talk about the latest development. Many thanks, Prof, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now, tell us, how does ECOWAS view the departure of these three nations? Was there an effort to prevent this outcome?
Thank you very much. I think you can listen to the president of ECOWAS Commission. Nobody wants them to go because we have been living together under this economic integration initiative since 1975. But let me say that this is not the first time a country is leaving ECOWAS. Mauritania was among the founding members in 1975, but in year 2000, Mauritania left after they give the same 1 year notice of leaving. But let me say a very good thing, and when you listen to the president of ECOWAS Commission, it was quite clear that despite this, 4 things will still be available. The passport that people have will still allow them to move freely. They are going to move freely with their visa as well, and then it's going to be a visa-free movement. Thirdly, is the fact that as much as possible, the member states personnel of these countries that are inside the ECOWAS Commission will be giving full support. And ETLS, which is ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, they will still continue to enjoy it. So I think that it is something which nobody wanted when you listen to the mood of the president, but at the same time, since the condition has been fulfilled. So I think that is why the ECOWAS president had to come out with that wonderful message.
All right, in your view, do you think the withdrawal would affect existing ECOWAS trade agreements, treaties, and free movement that involve these nations within the region?
You say what? Pardon?
Do you think that their withdrawal would affect ECOWAS trade agreements, treaties, and free movements that involve these nations?
Yes, they will still continue to enjoy. After all, African Continental Free Trade Area is more or less it's a free trade area, which means there's not going to be any import duty among member states. So why would they not enjoy equal trade liberalization? They should continue to enjoy. Let me say, over the past many years, nearly 50 years now, these member states, they have been crisscrossing of member states and their business activities. So, and that is exactly what the president is saying, that they will still continue to enjoy this. And then African as a whole is coming up with an African Continental Free Trade Area that will allow citizens of the entire continent to be able to trade freely among themselves. So, and even Mauritania that left is having an economic partnership with ECOWAS, and they are negotiating the economic partnership agreement with European Union with ECOWAS. So, I mean, we are still together. So I think that is...
Now, these countries have military-led governments. This practically is a shift from democratic governance in the region. Is this not a cause for worry for a region making efforts to entrench democracy? And wouldn't this encourage other ECOWAS members to reconsider their membership?
I think that is just the worry of the head of state of ECOWAS when they take that decision, because they want their member state to be to be democratic government, elected people, not people just coming to take up governance when they were not being elected. That was the basis for this kind of problem. And well, I don't think that one will change, because ECOWAS have been on that kind of a line for quite some time. Some states have actually have that kind of crisis in which ECOWAS came in and restored democratic government. I think that is the issue. ECOWAS will continue to support democracy.
Beautiful. Just, so we can round up this conversation, is there a possibility, or if you like, do you perceive that there may be reconciliation or reintegration of these countries in the future?
I think so. There are all possibilities of reconciliation. The doors is not closed yet. And the doors are not... You see, the mere fact that the president said that the various ECOWAS protocol will still apply is an indication that, why not? Anytime they are ready to come back, I don't think ECOWAS will deny them. Mauritania has been negotiating. Mauritania is having a lot of relationship with ECOWAS. And so I think that, to me, I will want them to come back. And I think they may still come back.
All right, a fine point to leave the conversation. Many thanks, Professor Jonathan Aremu, for joining us on News Extra tonight.
Thank you.
All right, let's move away from ECOWAS and all the issues and look at Niger State, where the governor, Umar Bago, has ordered the immediate search and evacuation of explosive materials from Sabubegi, a community where an explosion claimed 2 lives and destroyed property. Salihu Gwanara reports that the governor gave the directive when he led state and federal government delegation, including the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, in a sympathy visit to the affected community.
Although Niger State is known as the Power State, it also prides itself as having the largest landmass in Nigeria, sitting on several natural resources. The quest for these resources has made illegal mining activities attractive in remote communities like Sabon Pegi, about 300 kilometers away from Mina, the state capital. The state and federal government delegation are here not only to sympathize with the victims and people of the affected community, but to as well drop some words of caution.
This kind of tragedies are happening just too many in our country, and the president is deeply saddened, and he has instructed that the National Orientation Agency carry out advocacy and enlightenment campaigns, especially among these rural communities, to avert the reoccurrence of this. Only a few weeks ago, we saw what happened in Diko, we saw what happened in Enugu, we saw what happened a few months ago in Jigawa and elsewhere in Niger State, in Ibadan. These are tragedies that are virtually man-made. We cannot allow them to continue. People cannot just come, store explosives in their house with the aim of using them at their mining sites. This is not acceptable. You heard what the governor of Niger State has said. You've seen what he has done at the state level to ensure that this does not happen. The federal government has also stepped up this, and the president has directed that all those involved in this activity will be further reorganized.
Apart from explosives that they usually keep at home, there's also pollution of the river, like the Sabon Pegi here. So they go there to clean gold, and over time, these are all cancerous elements that can develop in a human's body.
Niger State Governor Umar Bago announced the donation of 224 million naira to the victims on behalf of the state government and the immediate past governor, Senator Abubakar Sani Bello.
We have come here to discuss with the people so that they can surrender some of these explosives they have with them to the committee of NEMA and the State Emergency Management Agency with the security agencies, so that they can store it for them wherever that is better, instead of putting it in their houses, to avert further cases like this. And we have been able to come with some succor to support them financially.
As evident from the crowd behind me here, the stakeholders also agreed that there's need for enlightenment among them, especially those who are not educated and involved in these mining activities. The delegation at the palace of the Emir of Borgu, Muhammad Haliru Danturu, prayed for peace in Niger State and the country. From Sabo Pegi in Mashegun Leku government area of Niger State, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Many thanks, Salihu. In other news, to complement the ongoing federal government retraining exercise for 120,000 frontline health workers nationwide, the Renewed Hope Initiative has presented 10,000 professional kits to midwives in the 6 North Central states. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, while presenting the kits in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, says the intervention stems from the initiative's recognition of the demands for adequate skills and tools in the health sector. State House correspondent Adeniyi Taiwo reports that key infrastructural projects designed to drive socio-economic growth of the state were also inaugurated by the First Lady in the state.
Crucial role in preventing maternal mortality by providing essential care for women and children during childbirth, midwives occupy a key position in the health ecosystem world over. The presentation of 10,000 units of professional kits made up of scrubs and crocs to midwives drawn from the 6 states in the North Central Geopolitical Zone and the FCT is Renewed Hope Initiative's response to the gaps in the primary health care subsector. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, while presenting the kits, says RHI has procured 60,000 branded scrubs and crocs as incentive to encourage and support the tireless dedication of midwives.
All 6 geopolitical zones will be receiving 10,000 scrubs and 10,000 crocs to be shared among the states in each zone. We will be visiting other zones as soon as possible for the allocation of these items. This donation has been made possible by the generous support of an anonymous global partner committed to ensuring better health outcomes for our citizens. My first contact with them was at the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, in 2023.
The provision of these kits will not only ensure that our health workers are well equipped to perform their duties, but also send strong message of solidarity and hope to those who are devoted to protecting the health of our mothers and children.
We are confident that these kits will significantly enhance the quality of maternal and child health care services in our zone.
First ladies at the subnational level to expand the reach of midwifery services and provide the voices of health workers and ensure that every woman in Nigeria has access to skilled care during pregnancy and childbirth.
Your decision to support and motivate our maternal health heroes, as you are doing today, is a reflection of your genuine interest, and commitment to the health of our mothers and babies and to our overall well-being.
Coming at a time when Nigeria is set to launch her Free to Shine campaign, which targets the elimination of HIV/AIDS, hepatitis, and similar diseases, particularly through mother-to-child transmission. The presentation of these medical kits to health workers is expected to come in handy and, of course, serve as encouragement to these frontline health workers. Away from the presentation, the First Lady hits the streets of Ilorin for another round of inauguration, but not before interacting with high school students who trooped out to welcome her. She later inaugurated the Tunde Idagbon flyover at Tanke and Ibrahim Zulu Gambari flyover at Unity area of the state capital. She also turned the sword for the construction of the Civil Service Hospital, now Senator Oluremi Tinubu Hospital, Ilorin, and inspected the Ilorin Innovation Hub.
2, 1, action.
The potential of Kwara State in the movie industry was on full display at the Sugar Factory Film Studio, where the First Lady not only interacted with cast and crew, but also joined a live production set. She pledged support to the movie industry, promising to identify with one or more movie production. From Ilorin in Kwara State, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
Let's move to Jigawa State now, where the government, in collaboration with the National Cash Transfer Office through the State Cash Transfer Unit, has launched the distribution of automated teller machine cards to about 23,000 beneficiaries across the state. Mohammed Musa Askira reports that this is courtesy of Renewed Hope initiative of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The 75,000 Naira cash donation is a 3-month support of 25,000 Naira per month to each of the 23,000 beneficiaries across Jigawa State. This event is for the distribution of ATM cards to the beneficiaries, as the money will be sent directly to their bank accounts, specially opened for this purpose. Commending President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the creation of the Renewed Hope initiative that is empowering Nigerians economically, Governor Umar Namadi says Jigawa people will remain grateful to the President for his kindness. Governor Umar Namadi says his government is domesticating and complementing all the federal government's development initiatives to address problems of poverty, illiteracy, unemployment, and hunger, among others.
This is something that will definitely improve economic activity, that will improve the livelihood of our people in Jigawa State. So we sincerely thank Mr. President for this intervention, and we want to assure him that this intervention will go in a long way in helping our people to improve their livelihood.
Other speakers say Jigawa government's alignment with the federal government's development policies and programs is transforming the state for the better.
In trying of the federal government to at least bring up people out of poverty, that is why the present administration come back with this program in order to at least help poor and vulnerable households.
The distribution of these ATM cards will continue until all the 23,000 beneficiaries have collected to receive their 25,000 Naira per month for 3 months. A total of 575 million Naira will be distributed to these beneficiaries through this cash transfer. From Duty, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
This is News Extra. More news after this break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Onions rank among the world's most significant vegetable crops, following tomatoes, while they play a unique role in enhancing the flavor and aroma of various dishes. This crop has also been a source of distress for farmers and consumers in the country. Musa Babali reports that the country experienced a loss of over 40% of its annual onion production last season.
The bond between the onion and its consumers mirrors the essence of the vegetable itself. The bulbs are cherished when they are large, smooth, and beautiful, but they create tears when painstakingly peeled layer after layer. This year, countless onion farmers across Nigeria are weeping, their tears stemming from the use of inferior seeds during the 2024 planting season. As a consequence, the nation faces staggering 60% loss from the anticipated harvest for 2024-2025.
In the light of this crisis, a pivotal meeting was convened between the Ministers of Agriculture and Food Security and Onion Producers, Processors and Marketers Association of Nigeria.
With eyes beaming with tears, the farmers conveyed the gravity of their losses, highlighting the profound impact on their social and economic well-being.
With the current storage facility that we have,
If we store 10 bags in our normal place, we call it rudu, kobuka. If you store 10 bags, in July you will get 7 or 6. In October, you will get 4. Once it gets to December, you only get 2 bags. That is if you are lucky. So all the remaining bags, you have lost it. Not that it rotten, it did not rotten, but it will shrink. You will see plenty of the scale instead of the onion bulb. So for us, that post-harvest losses of more than 50% is translating into the resources of the farmer. It's translating into the time of the farmer, the effort of the farmer, the labor of the farmer, and the nation is losing.
Let's see what do we need quickly, because this is something that we have seen way ahead of time. Not only that we wait till March and we see the kind of, but we have seen the expected losses.
In terms of the projection.
In terms of the projection.
It's good that we have brought this. I think we should begin to now look at, because there are 3 things you mentioned.
Yes, sir.
We are talking about the flood.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes,
so
sir.
now you are asking that we should give you support to go back into the rainy season. Yes. So how do you mitigate flood? Are you going to make sure that only those who are not in flood-prone areas?
Yes.
For almost a decade, Nigeria's onion production has been on the decline due to environmental factors, flooding and poor storage. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Onion is important in almost every meal, and we have with us now in the studio the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, to talk about this development. Well, thanks, Honorable Minister, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. Good evening, Nigerians.
We're talking about onions, and you know your onions. In that report we just watched, it was alleged that fake or substandard seeds are responsible for the poor harvest of onion. How would you react to this?
Well, first, we definitely felt very bad, very sad, that despite all the efforts we are making as a ministry to turn the tide in our agricultural production, we end up having very bad situations like this, which, by the way, was caused by a member of the NOPMAN, that is the National Onion Producers, Processors and Marketers Association of Nigeria. But we're very happy also that the NOPMAN did not just leave the matter like that. They were able to trace the member that went and imported this adulterated or fake, seed, and leading to all the losses that you are talking about. And they've handed that person over to the security, agencies already. But the problem at hand is the fact that because of this, there is a projection that 60% of the projected, output will definitely not be available. And our concern here is that, onion is one of the sensitive commodities in terms of the inflation in the country. And that's why we are concerned. But as a ministry, just like you had my colleague, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Senator Abubakar Kyari, saying, we've already anticipated some of these things because we've been engaging all of these people since we came on board. And last year, they made a presentation to us. And arising from that presentation, we've already set up certain mechanisms. First, the issue of seed. And I think just like, you saw them going to import fake seed, it was because the seed was not available. And one of their members thought he saw a channel and went in and brought fake seed. And I think it's important for Nigerians to know that as a nation, we have a regulatory framework. The National Agricultural Quarantine Services is designed to ensure that there is a procedure for coming in with seed so that you don't end up having the wrong seed polluting your own environment. So for that reason, we have already set the ball rolling. The National Seed Council, the National Horticultural Research Institute, they are already working on building our own in-house capacity for seed production, for onion, and most importantly, even for the other crops. But then the inflation-sensitive crops like onion, pepper, and tomato, I think are receiving a special pride of place in our programming. And we are hoping this year we'll be able to scale up whatever we're doing along that line.
Fantastic. Good to know that the ministry is doing something about this development. Now, but storage has always been a major challenge in onions farming. How can we overcome all of these? Any plans from the ministry?
Yeah, well, you know, storage is a function of so many things. And for onions, for example, I think the minister just came back from Egypt, where we had a trade, relation visit. And I think he was able to explore some of these issues. And I think we've seen a window where right now we are working. There's a technical working group that is going to work to see how we can also look at what technology to adopt to support the storage of onions, for example. I think the method we are using vis-a-vis the method that the minister saw in Egypt, it showed the Egyptian method is giving them up to 80% protection in terms of reduction in post-harvest, which means they lose just maybe less than 20%. So we are exploring avenues to see what we can do to learn and then to bring back technology that will help our farmers to be able to store these commodities so that the shelf life is longer, availability is increased, and that way the price will not be a problem for citizens.
All right, because of time, there are actually so many issues to talk about, but we have to go. What's your advice to farmers generally?
Well, my advice is this. Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said, plant the right seed, feed an entire nation. So seed is very important. Therefore, farmers should avoid going to bring any kind of seed. Seed are normally developed for specific agroecologies, for specific locations, and we are doing our best. Our research institutes are there. When you are not able to get a solution, approach us. We'll link you up with the right location where you're going to get the right seed. And I think we are taking actions very seriously. The National Seed Council is increasing the number of inspectorates so that they'll be able to see those who are doing sharp practices in the field. Because like you can see, the farmers are weeping because they planted the wrong seed. And that's why the president was right in saying, plant the right seed, feed an entire nation, so that no one goes to bed hungry.
All right, it's been very insightful speaking with you, Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi. Many thanks for being our guest on News Extra tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, now let's see all the news. In line with President Bola Tinubu's directive, the Renewed Hope National Homegrown School Feeding Program is upscaling its reach with the inclusion of integrated Quranic and Sangaya schools to tackle out-of-school children menace. The flag off of a pilot phase of the program was at Sangaya Primary School, Jere, Kaduna State. Tokbe Alabi reports.
The federal government desires a massive enrollment of children of school age, and to achieve this, free meal is being introduced as a tool to attract pupils. This flag-off of the school feeding program is capturing pupils from the customary Al-Majiri system who now attend integrated Quranic and Shangaya primary schools.
We are dedicated to provide our children with resources and opportunities they need.
We are more confident about learning those that we have your partners.
I think that the fact that they have nutrition in school also encourages them to come to school and to stay in school. I think it helps a lot with retention.
Our own role here is to enroll pupils and issue them with the national identification number, which they will use to access government services.
Shangaya Primary School in Jere currently enrolls 785 pupils with just 9 classes and 20 teachers, as the infrastructural deficit remains a source of worry.
We want to put our own commitments by recruiting more teachers through the effort of the Honorable Commissioner, and of course providing solar lights.
On behalf of the Emirate Council, to advise the ministry to fence this land to avoid further encroachment by unscrupulous people.
On the fencing of the school, we're also going to look into that. The school will be fenced and more security will be provided.
We have seen all different areas and the problems, and we have collectively agreed that each of all will intervene. Initially, we have made promises that we will provide furnitures for the school.
Before, the school feeding had not covered the elementary children. So we are looking by the year 2026 to feed close to 20 million children in Nigeria.
The Renewed Hope National Homegrown School Feeding Program is currently feeding over 53,000 schools and 9.9 million pupils across 35 states and FCT. Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Elsewhere, existing foreign and domestic investors are advocating the establishment of more functional economic zones in Nigeria, just as the federal government commits to better ease of doing business environment for all businesses to thrive. This was at the second existing Foreign Direct Investors Roundtable and Regulators Forum hosted by the Office of the Vice President in Abuja. Benny Adams reports.
On one side of the table are multinationals, captains of industry, development partners and foreign investors. On another are regulators and government, both at federal, state and local councils. The conversation is about attracting and retaining foreign direct investment in country as well as domestic investment.
There's a lot of money in this room. Let's make sure that some of that money is transferred to other parts of Nigeria.
Speakers here agree that more work needs to be done in simplifying business processes, improving transparency and accountability across MDAs, in addition to enhancing infrastructure and logistics, especially at the Nigerian ports, to reduce customs clearing time, among other key issues needed to improve the ease of doing business in Nigeria.
Our collective aspiration is that the outcomes from the launch of Nigeria's regulatory impact assessment framework, along with the insights and lessons from existing regulatory initiatives, will drive measurable impact for productivity and competitiveness across key sectors to improve the Nigerian business environment and support the economic initiatives of the government.
The launch of Nigeria's regulatory impact analysis framework is a game changer as the stakeholders believe it will go a long way in deepening sectoral reforms, especially in high-impact sectors of agriculture, manufacturing, and ICT.
We are creating a stable and predictable macroeconomic environment that will allow investors to thrive and contribute to the long-term prosperity of Nigeria.
And we're committed to making sure that you will prosper here, that your businesses will grow and scale, and that from here you will export whether goods or services to the rest of Africa and the world.
With more incentives and returns on investment promised, all parties agreed that only a firm handshake between public and private sectors would lead to achieving set goals. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Now, the House of Representatives has described as baseless and unfounded allegations that some lawmakers in the National Assembly are demanding bribes from vice-chancellors of federal universities to approve their 2025 budget allocations. House spokesman Akin Rotimi says the allegations contained in an online medium are coming at a time when some heads of federal tertiary institutions have failed to appear before the House for budget defense sessions, despite their constitutional obligation to do so. The House spokesman notes that while recent oversight visits by the House Committee on University Education revealed poor governance practices in some institutions, certain individuals have resorted to blackmail ahead of the outcome of ongoing investigation. The House challenges anyone with credible evidence of misconduct to present it to the appropriate authorities, including the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges or anti-corruption agencies for independent investigations. Similarly, the leadership of the National Assembly has pledged to engage President Bola Tinubu on the need to conduct a national population census this year. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, stated this during a meeting with the management team of the National Population Commission in Abuja. Speaker Abbas expressed his support on the need for an order by President Tinubu for the National Population Commission to conduct a biometric census this year. He told the NPC delegation that a national head count is long overdue, as it would establish the country's numerical strength after almost 2 decades. While acknowledging that the budget of the National Population Commission was inadequate to conduct a census, the Speaker said the federal government may consider other sources of funding, including the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Chairman of the Commission, Nasser Kwara, said plans for the biometric census include acquisition of technology, recruitment and training of officials, as well as establishment of a situation room. Let's head to the courtroom now, where efforts by the defense team of the former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello to delay his trial has been overruled by the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, sitting in Abuja. This was during the resumption of proceedings in the alleged money laundering suit filed against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Dele Atobi will feed us.
Yahaya Bello, Shuaibu Richa, and Absalami Udu were implicated by the EFCC for alleged conspiracy, forgery, money laundering running to over 110 billion naira said to belong to Kogi State. This Wednesday's proceedings were slated for the first prosecution witness to testify, but the defense team objected, saying they were yet to be served with proof of evidence, list of witnesses, and other details in possession of the prosecution team. EFCC Prosecution Counsel Kemi Fehiro SAN said this was a ploy to delay trial as all the processes had been front-loaded since November 26, 2024. Querying why the defense waited till now to raise the objection, presiding judge Justice Marian Anene overruled it and ordered the trial to proceed. Thereafter, the prosecution witness Fabian Nwaora took to the witness box to testify. Details how a certain Dr. Shehu Bello Ohiani approached him and purchased one of his properties. However, when EFCC commenced investigation of the said Shehu Bello, the property deals were retained. Also, he refunded the money paid by Shehu Bello to the EFCC recovery account. Meanwhile, the criminal matter has been adjourned to 3rd of April 2025. Yahaya Bello and other defendants in the case have been on bail since December 2024 when they were first arraigned. Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Away from the courtroom now, the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, has launched an investigation into the incident involving Max Air Boeing 737 that departed Lagos for Kano on Tuesday at about 10:58 p.m. local time on 28th January 2025. The Director, Consumer Protection Public Affairs of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, Michael Achimogo, in a statement says Max Air suspended its domestic operations for 3 months, beginning from 31st January 2025 to allow for internal appraisal of its operations. During the period, NCAA will conduct a thorough safety and economic audit on Max Air to guarantee its capability to sustain safe flights operations. The suspension of the airline's operation is due to the Boeing 737 aircraft emergency landing, of which all the 53 passengers and crew members were disembarked safely and no injuries recorded. Another news, President Bola Tinubu congratulates renowned banker Dr. Lawrence Olusegun Aino as he celebrates his 70th birthday on January 31. President Tinubu commends Dr. Aino for his contributions to Nigeria's development, noting his distinguished career spanning over 30 years, during which he served as the chief executive of a bank for 6 years. The president extols Aino's pioneering role within the fintech industry and describes him as a visionary who established Fintech Associates Limited in 2002. President Tinubu encourages Dr. Aino to continue to contribute to the nation's development and wishes him God's abiding grace and good health. Another break is due at this point, but there's more news on the other side. Stay with us. Many thanks for remaining with us. Purposeful and responsible leadership that prioritizes access to quality healthcare services, education and human capital development will help to unlock Africa's potential and change the negative narratives about the continent. Former Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Professor Tony Radia, said this at a colloquium on leadership convened by Dr. Osahon Enabulile Foundation in Benin. Jude Abugo reports.
Leadership is often blamed for the slow pace of development of most African countries, and it is believed that good governance will harness the potential and resources of Africa for a better tomorrow. In his presentation on election management and leadership recruitment process, The Way Forward, former NTA Director General Professor Tony Iredia has this to say on solutions to some Africa's leadership issues.
A leader must be somebody who has integrity. He must ensure that what he says he wants to do is what he does, and he does it in that same way. So those are leaders.
Don't let us say that if we have a leadership problem, it is peculiar to Nigeria. Has never been and will never be. The whole world has been searching for good leadership because all societies will be in trouble if we don't have good leadership.
The former president, World Medical Association, through his foundation, is advocating progressive reforms to reverse the negative narratives about Nigeria and Africa.
Countries in sub-Saharan African region are equally faced with doubting challenges that continually undermine the expected growth and development of African people.
Speakers call for more commitment from leaders and citizens to actualize Nigeria's potential. Analysts believe that with more altruistic and patriotic spirit on the part of citizens and leaders, Nigeria can actualize all her potential. In Benin, Jude Abugo, NTA News.
Let's talk politics now, as the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party has described the internal crisis rocking the party as unfortunate, tasking the National Working Committee to honor its words by convening the National Executive Committee meeting in February 2025 as promised. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that while the meeting was holding behind closed doors to resolve the crisis rocking the party, there was a breakout of clashes between the supporters of the two officers laying claim to the office of the party's National Secretariat.
The People's Democratic Party has been immersed in leadership crisis following the outcome of its last national convention. There seems to be no end to the crisis rocking the party, with many issues coming up in different ways. This Wednesday's meeting of the Board of Trustees of the PDP is seeking ways to restore peace in the party.
The failure to resolve these internal conflicts undermines the strength and credibility of our great party. It is therefore imperative that the National Working Committee rises above personal interests and places the survival and progress of our great party above all considerations.
Most of this crisis that you see today within the NWC is propelled by our leaders that are supposed to unite us.
The former national youth leader of the PDP, Sunday Okoye, who is also laying claim to the office of the National Secretary of the party, was present at the meeting as a BOT member. He was, however, allegedly asked to leave the meeting, resulting in a clash with opposing supporters. Addressing the media after the closed-door BOT meeting, in a 10-point communique, Chairman of the Board, Senator Adolphus Wabara, confirmed NWC resolved to convene next meeting in February 2025. BOT also set up a committee headed by Tanimu Turaki SAN to interface with the two persons laying claim to the office of the PDP National Secretary and feed the leadership of the party with findings towards resolving the internal crisis. The survival and future of the PDP going forward is dependent on time. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And away from politics, the Corps-Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Shehu Mohammed, has met with the National Chairman of Nupeng PTD to strategize on curbing petrol tanker crashes across the country. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports that both parties agreed to intensify the Safe to Load initiative to depots before tankers hit the road.
A firm handshake, but behind the gesture lies a pressing concern.
the rising cases of petrol tanker crashes. For the Corps Marshal, this is not time for boardroom meetings or bureaucratic talk. It's time to take the campaign to the front lines himself. A face-to-face engagement between the regulator and the petroleum tanker operators, the FRSC and Nupeng PTD, to tackle a problem that has claimed lives and destroyed properties.
We already have a scheme, the safety scheme, that is the safety load, where we do pre-load inspection and post-load inspection of tankers when they take fuel from the depot and from the tank farms to various destinations in the country. So we intend to, have this forum with them so that we strengthen and improve on what we do on that safety load.
For the Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union, awareness campaigns in local languages will be intensified to ensure drivers understand and comply with safety measures.
Last time we introduced what is called a safety valve and cover. If you have safety valve in your tank, if the tanker has an accident, no single liter will come out.
But wherever we have bad road, please quickly intervene by do palliative measure, and we ask them to regulate the axle load.
The Corps Marshal reiterated the federal government's commitment to ending these tragic incidents, stressing that every stakeholder must play a role in finding a lasting solution. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Now, the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, has carried out repairs on different failed sections of federal roads in Ondo State. During an on-the-spot assessment tour of the recently completed reinstatement work along Ifon-Uzeba-Ose River Bridge to Edo Border Road, residents and commuters commended the federal government for the prompt intervention, which they say has reduced travel time on this route. Paul Omukago tells us more.
Ondo State has over 700 kilometers of federal roads, with most of them outliving their design lifespan. This has necessitated regular intervention by FEMA on critical failed sections with a view to maintaining and making the roads safe for the motoring public. The Ifon-Uzeba-Ose River Bridge to Edo State Border Road was in deplorable condition prior to its maintenance.
The accident that happened in this road about 2 or 3 years ago, which was very fatal accident, but with this, I think it will be free from accident.
Gallop everything when we are moving, but now we thank the government that helped us to do this road.
We used to manage and maneuver it, but now the people that do the road, they do a noble job.
The state of this road before is a pit of hell. You can see now everything is okay.
Here we've done restatement of the washout and constructed some line drain. We desettled existing line drain as well. Then we repair failed pavement section.
In line with FEMA's slogan, Operation Connect Your Destination 2.0, aimed at ensuring safe and motorable roads during the recent festive season, the agency also carried out patching of critical potholes, asphalt overlay, and reinstatement of carriageway along Owo, Ikare, Arigidi, and Onyi-Ekiti State Border Road.
All right, let's pause here. We'll be back in a bit. As the Nigerian Air Force projects more than 30,000 personnel by 2027, the need for modern computerized human resource management and proactive administration becomes imperative. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, affirmed this at the Nigerian Air Force Administration and Personnel Seminar in Abuja. Defense correspondent Alajide Bello reports.
Effective personnel management is essential for operational readiness, requiring strategic career planning, accurate record keeping, fair evaluations, and strong welfare support. Under the leadership of the Chief of the Air Staff, efforts have been made to enhance administration, including acquiring a new office complex in Gudu to house key branches and relocating the personnel management group to Abuja. Since 2023, 7 administrative instructions and 12 Air Secretary directives have been issued to streamline operations. This seminar is an opportunity to find innovative solutions, digitizing personal records, upgrading accommodation management, and leveraging data analytics will optimize efficiency and decision-making.
I therefore encourage all participants to think creatively and propose actionable solutions that can drive progress and advancement in our service. Furthermore, it is imperative to revive our efforts to computerize our personnel management group for seamless record keeping, to upgrade our accommodation management software, and ensure equitable and efficient resource distribution.
This seminar is therefore not just one of a series of routine think tank activities, but rather a brainstorm of absolute necessity in order to configure the right manpower balance for the Nigerian Air Force new posture.
Nigerian Air Force will continue relentless operations against criminal elements, ensuring air power remains a decisive force in protecting innocent lives and restoring peace. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Let's take another quick break. Please stay with us.
The new Harpic sachet. It has a thick formula, so all you need is just one sachet for your toilet bowl. It gives 10 times better cleaning and big savings too. Wow, Heli! Sparkling clean toilet with Harpic sachet.
At Home Options, you're welcome to a world of elegance, where every corner whispers sophistication. Step into our showroom and indulge your senses with our timeless designs and craftsmanship, from plush sofas to magnificent dining tables that host lifetime celebrations. Our collections, the hallmark of luxury. Create your haven with exclusive bedroom selections and turn your sanctuary into a realm of refined tranquility. When it comes to bathroom solutions, our stylish fixtures, lavish tubs and showers are crafted for your well-being, transforming your daily routine into a ritual of indulgence. At Home Options, we provide lifestyle solutions. So, visit our showrooms in Lagos and Port Harcourt, because your space deserves to mirror your impeccable taste. Home Options. Live well.
So what can I get you?
Can I have some more golden penny pasta?
Tell me why you want more.
Because I enjoy slurping.
This is why I love my golden penny pasta. It's my family's favorite. What's your reason? Garage for romantic dinner.
Reminds me of home every time.
That truly satisfies me. It's my ultimate comfort food.
Creativity mode activated, and make delicious combos with it.
I just want more. Oh, Grandpa.
Because I love you all.
There are more reasons to love Golden Penny Pasta. What's your reason? Great taste? Good nutrition.
We're live in the open market for Harpic 10X Challenge. My people, today now, today I will show you how the power of new Harpic 10X gives your toilet a better cleaning than bleach.
Than bleach?
Yes, so
impossible.
Toilets have stains which bleach cannot clean effectively. But Harpic is thicker and sticks better, which gives 10X better cleaning versus bleach and kills germs.
Oh, wow.
You can now see that Harpic is better than bleach.
The world needs mums. With a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Change no thanks into yes please. Resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden Terra Oil, or pure love.
They asked me how I came this far. I told them I had to sweat. Sweat is chasing your dreams. Sweat is never giving up. Sweat is action, but can also bring germs. That's why I use Dettol Cool Soap with 5 degrees cooling sensation. Summer heat brings body odor, but Dettol Cool protects you from 99.9% of illness-causing germs and keeps you fresh.
Let's talk sports now. Bade Adeleye is here. Bade.
Let's get straight to it. The Nigerian Olympians Association and the National Sports Commission are set to collaborate for sports development in Nigeria. At a meeting with NSA Chairman Shehu Diko in Abuja, the NOA, led Vice President Olimide Oyedeji, and retired elite athletes including Falilat Ogunkoya, Emmanuel Babayaro, and the legendary sports broadcaster Hamid Adio, among others, lauded the NSA for leading the new thinking in the Nigerian sports sector.
First time we have a budget now for Olympic preparations. So instead for us to wait for 2020 we start looking for money. Now every year there will be money for Olympic preparations until we reach that level. Budget line created already for Commonwealth Games, which is already also part of the federal budget. So every year we do that. There's a budget line created for grassroots sports development and talent identification. They are all permanent there now. To keep being funded. The government will put their own money what they could do. The rest can come from the private sector.
So the inclusion of the Olympians and the upcoming national sport federations, which will be a great addition to what we try to do, because at least we have people that can also help, assist.
I want to focus on 3 major areas, Mr. Chairman. 1, sports and national unity. 2, sports and our youths. 3, sports and education.
Right, straight to the Nigerian Premier League as league leaders Remo Stars tightened their grip on the title race after coming from 2 goals down to beat Abia Warriors 3-2 earlier today. In Bayelsa, Ifeanyi scored a brace as Bayelsa United thrashed Sunshine Stars 4-1. And straight to the Nigeria Women's Football League Premiership, where on match day 3, it was full of surprise package as Adamawa Queens stunned Delta Queens 3-0, while Niger Rattles defeated Ibom Girls 2-1. In Port Harcourt, Rivers Angels were victorious in a 6-goal thriller against Robo Queens. Right, it's crunch time when it comes to the UEFA Champions League now, and 18 matches are currently being decided. Who is going to get out and who is going to make it? Manchester City at the moment are leading 2-1 against Club Brugge. That's a bit on sports. Let's now return to Yara.
Many thanks, Bade, for the update. And of course, that wraps up News Extra tonight. Many thanks for being a part of it. Do have a good night.